All right, guys, it's been a while since we had the show on the road. Welcome back to On Board. My name is, of course, Thunder E. As usual, I have with me, bored all day, Mr. Lou Rod. How's it going, Lou?
I'm doing well. How are you doing?
I'm good, man. I'm good. It's been a busy year. There's a lot of craziness, but hopefully everyone's doing fine. If you've been watching this show, hopefully you're safe and, life is treating you better than others, at least in some respects. But we've got a lot of news to cover today. And the reason I'm doing this is because there was a huge dump of shows. Sorry,
Dump
and dump of
announcements.
announcements from Disney. Disney put out a lot of announcements today, and we want to talk about some of those announcements on the channel right now. So one of the first things is Disney announced there will be a M-rated section on Disney Plus, so a mature section, which is something that's sorely needed because honestly, there's only one thing I watch on Disney Plus, and we all know what that is.
Mandalorian.
Mandalorian. That's it.
That's it. You know
And
what? I was bored the other night and I actually watched Endgame on it
no,
while
I
I
mean,
was in bed on the iPhone. Just okay, cool.
no, I agree. I would say during this pandemic period, for me, what has gotten the most amount of my screen time has been Netflix first. Um, n- it was Hulu for a little bit because Hulu has a lot of content,
Different stuff. Yeah.
different stuff. But then when HBO Max launched, I started going back to watch some old stuff that they have, and they have a lot of content as well, and they have a lot of good shows too because it's HBO. HBO just has solid shows in general. So,
Can Tech Guy Smart by not hear us?
hello. I can. Let me just check my audio. I can hear my audio. Um, Lou, say something.
Yeah, I'm checking now.
I can't hear you, Lou. That's weird.
Hello.
Okay,
I
I can
hear.
hear you. I can hear
I
you.
hear myself.
Yeah.
Slight delay,
Rod,
but
there's a delay, but I think it's on your end because I can hear the audio. I'm just playing it off YouTube here, but I can definitely hear it.
all right. I
Yeah.
mean, look, besides the Disney dump, last week we got the HBO Max news,
Yeah.
which that rocked the world because
It will. Before we get to that, let's start with some of the Disney news. Like I mentioned, Disney is going to have an M section, but also they announced 10 Star Wars shows and 10 Marvel shows are going to be coming up on Disney Plus, which is huge. And it looks like Disney is taking the approach that instead of them, they didn't make any announcements like HBO that said, look, we're going to have our theatrical release at the same time as theaters. They're going to invest more with TV shows to kind of cover the spectrum. So let's take a look at some of those announcements. One of the very first announcements is that, of course, Black Panther will not be recast.
I
So
mean,
your thoughts? What do you
I
think?
don't know where they're. I mean, I understand. I'm kind of glad that they're not going to, but where are they going? I mean, are you going to make Shiri the Black Panther for a movie and then have someone from another tribe take the mantle?
I think this is what's going to happen. Is somebody else will take the mantle of Black Panther. I think T'Challa is pretty much done in the MCU
Hmm.
as a character, and I think that's probably what they will do. That T'Challa is done. Maybe they may even make it that he did have a child with his girlfriend, and then later on that child, even though they didn't, state it because they can always just not include her and then bring her back and say, she had a child, right after the first movie, she was pregnant. That's why you didn't see her in the second movie. So they could do a couple of things like that. But I think, you know, it's a good and sad thing because it's like a nice way to pay respect, but also we would love to see T'Challa again, the
Well, I mean,
character.
you're going to hear his voice again, obviously, in the What If. He
Yeah.
recorded his episode,
Yes.
and then I mean, even the new Spider-Man Miles Morales plays homage to him.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. Okay. Yes. Rod says he was saying long time no hear from us.
Yeah, we've been no fault of my own. Someone's been real busy.
Yes, it's been my bad. but they're going to recast. They're not going to recast Black Panther, so that's something that's going to take note. Now, moving on to the next news, She-Hulk TV show, which they cast as She-Hulk. It
Tatiana Maslany,
Yes, she was in the show
Orphan
uh,
Black.
Orphan Black. Great show. You gotta
I
go watch.
I
Gotta go watch.
watched it. I stopped. What was it? 5 seasons, right?
Yeah, it got a little too long for me, but I think like I went up to season 2 or 3.
Yeah, same with me. I
Yeah.
watched, I believe, up to season 5. I stopped before season 5 aired.
Okay. Um, so Mark Ruffalo and Team Roth will be returning for Disney Plus show.
Well,
Um,
we knew Mark Ruffalo was coming, but the fact that they're adding the Abomination back now kind of makes the Incredible Hulk more MCU based, in my
mhm.
opinion.
No, I mean it's always, but remember the general is there, so it's always been part of
Yeah,
the
but
MCU.
you could have just like kind of what they did with J. Jonah Jameson. Just put him in there and just wing it.
Yeah, I mean definitely that was definitely possible, but I think it was going to be part of it no matter what. So I think that aspect is there. But that's good to see. The other news that came up is that Marvel Studios will be announcing Secret Wars and Ironheart for Disney Plus. So if you know the Secret Wars storyline, that has to do with the Kree invasion and some of that aspects in there, as well as also Ironheart, which is a newer character in the Marvel comics, who is a young black female who's really intelligent, who built her own Iron Man suit, and is now kind of Iron Man. So it looks like they're going to use different ways to cover that Iron Man void, and maybe one of the rumors that Grace from Beyond Trailers had mentioned is that Robert Downey Jr. is going to come back as a voice, as an AI to some degree. So basically, he downloaded his AI into himself. I mean, into his suits, so so he can be part of the universe while not being there.
Like, it's going to be interesting because remember in Endgame when his funeral, they showed the kid from Iron Man 3
Yeah,
more grown up. So are they going to incorporate him as well?
yeah.
Because
He
he was
he
pretty smart too.
he might be incorporated into Ironheart or some of the other Iron Man based shows or something because his daughter is just too young, right? So
Oh, dude. But see, the one show that's going to be really intriguing is the one called Armor Wars with War Machine.
yes, that's going to be an interesting show because I think War Machine, it's good, and I'm glad they're giving War Machine a show. It makes a lot of sense to go that route because, and also again in the comic books, I just saw that War Machine just got an upgrade. He's one of he as an Iron Man suit, he has the least amount of upgrades. You would think the way Iron Man has upgraded so much. Even in the comics, it's the same way. War Machine does not get upgraded. He just has a lot of traditional armaments, and he's just like heavy armor.
He's like the stepbrother that doesn't get the cool stuff.
Yeah, exactly. So I think that's where War Machine as the show will go. But that's actually good to see.
Well,
Um,
it's from what Feige said in the presentation, it's going to be Tony Stark's armors come back to haunt them.
won't be surprised. Won't be surprised.
So it's going to be, I guess, that and with the Ironheart will cross over,
Hmm.
maybe. And then the secret invasions, that's probably setting up for set it up on the small scale to pay it off on the big scale.
No, it's not just that. They set it up on a small scale because honestly,
It's
the
a lot of
reason
characters.
is too many characters, but it's a logical buy now because of COVID. One of the things that COVID showed is number one, people are buying more TVs, right? Because you're home. TV sales have the last thing I saw was TV sales are up by 150 to 200%. So, you know, what DC did was to put all the DC movies on streaming because they don't have enough shows yet, right? While Marvel is like, we need to build that universe, and we did in the movies. No one's going to go to the movie theater anymore, and they're still not confident on releasing it at the same time. So, but our shows, because of Mando, we've seen people will watch the shows. So let's build it out that way
Oh,
with the
like
shows. You know.
In all reality, I was going to cancel my Disney Plus when this season of Mando was done. But then I was like, well, WandaVision is coming not too far out, so I'll keep it. But then they announced that after WandaVision, we're getting Falcon and the Winter Soldier in March. So it runs from January 15th into March. You figure that's what, 6 to 8 episodes on the WandaVision.
Hmm.
Then we're getting 6 episodes of Falcon and Winter Soldier, which will then lead into Loki.
Yes.
Then we'll get a gap because Hawkeye is filming, and that one's probably going to end the year with it's in the notes as well. But Mando is going to be coming Christmas Day
Day.
for season 3, which kind of sucks. But I guess when you
Mando is always the end of the year. But we saw Falcon and Winter Soldier trailer. You said you liked it a lot. You were very excited, which
dude,
is
all
cool.
the trailers had me like, okay, bring it on, baby. It's got that movie style quality, not no TV show.
I I I looked at the trailer. I was like, it's cool. It didn't excite me as much as you did, as you were. But for me, I was like, I'm still gonna watch it. I wasn't as excited. The trailer just didn't get. Maybe I think it's more they just not showing a lot, which is cool. We're fine with me.
We
Um,
don't need a lot. We don't need
no,
a
no,
lot. Just give us the little teasers.
it's not that though. Like I like and I don't like the pairing of both of them. I like the pairing of both of them comic book wise. In this film universe, I don't know if there's something about it that just doesn't necessarily jive for me. I
What, they
like
don't got good chemistry for you?
no, not the chemistry part. I just don't see like I see it with Cap and all three in there, but like Falcon to me is like really useless, especially in the movies, just really useless. So,
Got a cool upgrade.
uh, what upgrade was it?
His suit was upgraded. Looked so much better.
Oh yeah, I think he can fire talons now at this point. Um, Tech Guy Smart Buy says rumor says Mbako and Shuri will both be home and away. So I guess Mbako will be at home and Shuri will be away, which would make sense.
If okay, I mean,
Yeah,
whatever.
we'll
Just
we'll
give me
s-
the
we'll,
movie.
s- we'll see how that is. We know that Ant-Man 3 title has been announced.
Quantum Mania.
Yes. Which would be interesting, but the Ant-Man movies is Peyton Reed again. They're good movies, they're fun, they just don't do much. You know what I mean? Like they are like connective tissue, they're not the meat.
Well, like Warren said in the chat, this is all setting up the Young Avengers. Now his daughter is going to be featured in this movie.
Yeah. Um Guardians of the Galaxy Holiday Special I Am Groot shorts announced as well.
Yeah, whatever. I'll watch them because it's Marvel, but those are like I don't think there'll be any type of connection to anything.
Probably not. We also have Christian Bale is playing a villain, of course, in the new Thor movie. He
Oh,
is
damn it.
playing
Gore the Butcher.
Gore the God Butcher, who I honestly don't
I
know Gore.
from what comics explained because when Christian Bale was first announced, he speculated that's who they were going with,
Hmm.
and he says he's someone to wreck with.
Hmm.
So hopefully they do him justice, and that's probably why Jane becomes Thor in some form because he's going to need the help.
Yeah, probably. I mean, like I've kind of given up on Thor personally on MCU because each time I watch it, Thor's always been underpowered for me. Then he gets powered up in
Infinity
um,
War,
Infinity War, and then he gets
fat in
totally
Endgame
decimated in Endgame. And for me, I'm just like, yeah, whatever, you know.
because he
So
was fat, man. He was out of shape, eating a lot of pizza and drinking beer.
the things that Thor can't get fat. It's like saying Superman getting fat. Even if Superman ate all the food on the planet, he would not gain an ounce of fat. It's just what it is. Um, we also have Spider-Man director is John Watts. Sorry, John Watts. Spider-Man director is the Fantastic Four director. Just tell us that you've cast. What's his name? The guy from The Office, John. Just tell us you've cast him and his wife, and then we can move on with life. We know they're fantastic.
Oh, you're talking about
John Krasinski and
and his
Emily Blunt.
wife,
And what's her name again?
Emily Blunt.
Emily Blunt. I was gonna say Emily Watson. I was like Emily Blunt. So that makes sense. Um, Patty Jenkins is helming Star
That's
Wars
exciting news.
Rogue Squadron, which is cool. That is good to see. Rogue Squadron, I liked it as a game. I don't know if I would like it as a movie or is this a show? It
No,
looks
it's
like
not
it's
a
a movie.
show. It's
It's a
going to be
movie.
a movie. The
Okay.
only two movies that were announced were hers and the one Taika Waititi's doing.
What is
Taika's
his name?
Taika's doesn't have a no name. After he's done with Thor, he starts his Star Wars movie.
Then we've got Lando Calrissian and the Acolyte Star Wars series announced on Disney Plus.
The
Um,
Acolytes is what I'm looking forward to. After I found out what it's about,
what
hope
is it about?
dark side, dark side for sensitive people.
Oh,
Like it's building that order.
okay. Hopefully that goes on to the more darker side of things, like it goes to the M section of Disney Plus. We'll
Yeah.
see. Well, as we expected, Ahsoka's TV show has been announced, and the Rangers. I mean, that was like almost like a
See,
gimme.
the those Rangers in the High Republic or whatever that was called, that's a spin-off in this Mando, but that hasn't been introduced yet. So how is that gonna work?
Why wouldn't it be? I mean, it doesn't have to be shown in Mando. It can be as long as it's in the same timeline. They can show it.
These are all in the same that Mandalorian universe timeline.
Yeah, so I mean, they can go ahead and show up with her. So I don't see it as a problem. I mean,
Oh
I
no,
think
I'm not saying it's a problem. I'm just curious to know what is this going to be about?
it's probably what's his name? Vice Admiral Thawne. I mean, it's basically her journey to find out because remember, Mando's chase is between him and what's his name again with the black saber. Um,
Well, actually, no. He's going for the child. Bo Katan wants the saber. So will Katie be featured in both this show and Ahsoka in like cameo roles here
I
and there?
I think she will be on both parts. I think that's what she is because she said I think she's coming back for one more episode this season, if I'm not mistaken.
Maybe tomorrow's. I don't know.
I think she is because they asked the WWE
Sasha Banks.
Kasha Banks. They asked her, and she said she's not coming back, but it looked like Katie didn't mention anything. It looks like she's coming back for one more episode.
Or Sasha Banks is being coy and not saying anything.
True, but I think they're gonna play an important role in both.
And the
Because
one we know that ain't coming back for sure is Ahsoka.
yeah, she's not coming back.
She won't.
But that's the thing they're doing here is that if you think about the way Disney is handling the shows, is that every show is part of the big universe, but has pocket universes. So you think about, how we talked about the War Machine show. War Machine and Ironheart show will most likely cross constantly and keep that storyline going. Secret Invasion is probably the one that
Interconnect everything.
will leak around with all the different shows. Like we're going to the Hulk show, we're going to, um, you know,
Falcon.
Falcon. Or if Secret Invasion is great for Falcon because you can seep into that and come out, and you know that it's a scroll. That kind of thing. Like that's the kind of stuff that.
Because I
It,
believe WandaVision is a one-off.
yeah. So WandaVision is all about wonder. Like, that's something that you can do. But also again, is WandaVision is something you can still bring in Loki, just because it's still the same elements if you want to. I'm not saying that they're gonna mix in, but it's the same elements in there.
I
Uh,
believe they announced Loki was getting a second season. They didn't
uh,
announce it in this thing, but I believe that was a rumor back.
I won't be surprised though.
There's some good stuff coming. Like we got the HBO Max movies.
Oh wait, and then of course the Miss Marvel trailer. I know you watched it. I haven't watched it yet.
It's really like a little first look. They sprinkled in some of the filming that they've done, but what it did was she's getting this show, and from this show she's jumping into Captain Marvel too.
Yeah, it's going to be Captain Marvel 2, which I am not going to watch. I will profess my hate for the first movie. And anyone who will ask me and says I am not supporting should know that I love strong female characters. I'm just going to put it out there because you know what? Wonder Woman was well made. That movie was trash. I'm sorry. It just wasn't a good movie. It was terrible. The main let me not lament, but I am happy for Miss Marvel. I want to definitely see that. I just don't want to see another Captain Marvel movie. It doesn't do anything
I mean,
for
but
me.
they also announced that Monica Rambeau is going to be in it.
I mean, hopefully, but the thing is that she would add more elements to it that I would like. The problem is, to me, Katie Sackhoff should have been Captain
Okay,
Marvel.
we
What? No,
can't
no,
we
no. I'm
can't
just
go
saying.
back to that.
I know. I'm just saying that that would have helped. Still, the movie was poorly written. The action was terrible. A lot of people said, it should have been Charlize Theron. I would be so happy if it was her. That would have been great as
I
well.
could have saw that.
Yeah, I mean,
I mean, I
but
have nothing against Brie. I enjoyed the movie for what it was. It was
no, no, it's not. I don't
was
have
it
anything
great?
against it.
No, but
I have everything to do against her acting in that movie. It was bad. It was very stiff. No,
then that's the
uncomfortable.
director not bringing out no potential from her. 'Cause remember,
Mm,
they did that really quick. So this one, we're going to have time to develop it properly, and it's not going to be shoehorned in the '90s. It'll
no,
be
no.
current day.
But look at it this way, right? Even seeing her in Endgame, she was still stiff. You can't even answer that. See, there you go. Just saying.
I mean, she didn't have a big ass role in Endgame. I mean, she was in Boom Boom and
Because most likely because she was.
stiff.
There you go. And I might now moving to a professional stiff actor, but who I'm happy to see is gonna get his reprisal back is Hayden Christensen as Darth Vader in Obi-Wan Kenobi series.
I'm cool with it.
But that means they're gonna rewrite a lot of stuff in Star Wars if they do. If he shows up,
No, you don't have to. You don't have
if
to
he
rewrite anything.
no, but he cannot meet Obi-Wan ever.
They're not going to cross paths
Okay, no, I'm just saying he cannot. I'm not saying that he
because
will, but I'm saying he just cannot do that.
that would literally change everything that A New Hope set up. Because that was the first and last time they saw each other.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, like, but what it is they know they're around. He may send people against him. Or stuff like that's cool with me. That's fine. That's
Like,
all. That's all, dude.
I'm happy he's coming back, getting some more work. We know he's not going to be the one speaking. They'll most likely get James Earl Jones back.
Yeah,
It's going to be interesting because even the Bad Batch little sizzle reel brings back Grand Moff Tarkin. Like that anime looks pretty good.
yeah, it
Star
does. I
Wars
mean,
got some interesting stuff coming down the pipe that's going to be very interesting. And I wasn't really into the Cassian Andor, but the little sizzle reel that they showed, they're building their props and all that. Now I'm a little more intrigued with it.
I mean, Star Wars has always been very good. Star Wars should have been a TV show. Honestly, it's a world builder. Like, look at Star Trek, right? Now, Star Trek has always done best as TV shows, not movies. TV shows
Yeah,
because
this
it's
past week, this episode today was really good.
because it's such a big world, right? You can go into so many different adventures.
You
Like,
could,
you
yes,
know, I mean, like you're telling me that they were able to just wipe out all the Jedi like that. Come on, there's got to be some people hiding, right? There's got to be something. That's the beauty of Star Wars here. That's why I said, okay, like I like it in that universe. Now, to me, Marvel is doing a lot of great announcements. I still want to see what DC is going to do, or not. DC, let's put it this way: what AT&T is going to do. Now, the big news from that side this week is that AT&T sold off Crunchyroll to Funimation, who's owned by Sony, which means Sony now has the biggest anime collection ever, which is what I was for AT&T because Crunchyroll is on. Go watch Beyond Trailer. She does a good breakdown of the AT&T structure. It's just a weird structure. It does make sense, but it's such a weird structure of how it's organized. Crunchyroll is under the Warner's Media Network,
hmm
which is which is also part with HBO, and Crunchyroll was part of HBO, but they only were releasing some
anime
Sure,
in there.
some animes, and I'm going. One of the biggest animes right now is God of High School, which is only on Crunchyroll.
God of
Um,
high school. What the hell's
yeah,
that?
it's a Korean anime, which is
Is it good?
it's good. It's fun. It's like it's basically Goku. Also, it's um, Goku's based off the Chinese legend of the Monkey King. It's kind of like that in a different way. You only find that out at a certain point, but it's still it's a fun anime. And but also Crunchyroll has a lot of anime. Like you can watch any anime on there
Yeah,
on Crunchyroll,
they've
right?
got a bunch.
So
Like
in
I
my mind,
literally, I signed up for Crunchyroll just to watch Gundam, some old Gundams that I couldn't find nowhere. They
I'm
had it.
going. Why aren't you putting that on HBO Max direct? Like, why doesn't it just be like once you click on
It
HBO
should have
Max,
been
front and center?
merged into the platform, kind of like they did with DC Universe before they kind of just said DC Universe is just going to focus on the comics and the
Mhm.
shows will be HBO Max now with an HBO Max budget to make it look even sexier.
Look at it, but look at what's going to happen is in a year they're going to go, wow, we should have kept Crunchyroll.
Well, let's hope Sony does good stuff with it.
Sony, like all Sony has to do is literally do what, like if I'm Sony, I don't have to do much. I will now start feeding in Funimation, more Funimation stuff into Crunchyroll. I would now maybe change some of the tier service because Crunchyroll is free, but with ads. And then you have the paid services. You want to watch in high def,
$10.
$10 for high def and all that stuff. And I may even drop some of the prices a little bit just to entice people. But look, anime fans are big now. It's a big, like to me, in my mind, I'm going Warner Brothers. What
Why?
were you thinking? But I think that was more of an
What
AT&T
they were
sale.
thinking was we could get $1.175 billion when we're kind of short on cash because this pandemic has hurt everyone across the board. And you know what? Yeah, take it off our hands.
Exactly. So to me, an annoying sale that I'm an anime fan. I always watch anime. I'm
Yeah,
like,
I
you,
remember your little.
I like you didn't lose me. You're not losing me here. But what you did is that you could have kept me in correctly. Like, here's the thing that Warner Bros. Does not understand properly. DC, I still have the DC service, which I'm going to probably cancel because I don't get my comic books on time, and I don't get it. I don't get access to all the comic books that they told me I do. So for me, it makes no sense. Like I don't have nobody Marvel or DC. DC is a bit better. Marvel is just through Comixology, and then now here's an anime service where if I was them, I was like, you could have still continued making Crunchyroll, and then you take people like me and go. If you told me pay an extra $5 on top of HBO Max for full Crunchyroll access.
Oh, Disney Plus is going up.
No, I know, and I'm saying that as an anime fan, if he said, "Oh, okay, look, you know what? Instead of you paying $10 for Crunchyroll, you can pay $20 instead of
Oh,
25, right? You get HBO Max, Crunchyroll, and DC. Come on, come on, that's a trifecta that like any fan would just go like, yeah, sure. That covers almost all the things I want to watch. But it's that. So
see, the thing is, I know HBO Max got some good content. I just haven't got it back around to watching it. Like, I still need to finish watching Raised by Wolves. I,
oh,
it was good. I was enjoying it, but I stepped off. There's another one. My cousin was telling me The Flight Attendant was pretty good.
I haven't watched it yet.
I'm
Lovecraft Country.
I'm not. That one didn't have me because I just don't care for what they were doing there. Nothing
How,
against
how
those
many how
people.
many how many episodes do you watch?
Huh?
How many episodes of that did you watch?
Of Lovecraft, nothing because it wasn't something that was into me. I don't care for that horror element type stuff.
No, trust me, just watch it. Trust me. I don't like horror stuff either. It's look, Lovecraft Country basically just tells you simply this every episode. Pick your poison. Monsters or the white man. That's literally it every episode. That's where you start going, you know what, monsters are a little bit better right now.
I want to check out the Undoing that you watched.
Undoing is a classic HBO show. It's like It's a simple premise. It's just the way it's told and shot. That's the thing that HBO has. It's not a lot of like snazzy, stylistic stuff that gets your attention. It's just on doing. But when you watch it, you're like we're watching. We binged. It's 6 episodes.
Yeah, you binge it all in one day.
We literally just sat down. We're like, oh no, we gotta find out who killed. It's gotta be her. And then we're like, nah, come on, you can't end this episode like that. How many? Okay, cool. Let's keep going. Let's keep going. Let's see what happened. Like that's
That's
what
when
they
you know
do.
you got good TV because you don't want to turn it off.
Yeah. So those are the kind of shows that they do have. And what I'm hoping, and I get they're trying to do this trial and error period. We know on one hand. So I was going to ask you, what do you think about the idea of Warner Brothers doing, and also Rod, let me know what you think about that. Warner Brothers doing the simultaneous release launch, because basically every month there will be a big movie from 2021 right available on HBO Max.
I love it because I wasn't going to the movies. I was not going to go back to the movies. And even if they wanted to charge an extra $5 a month, which I wouldn't have to worry about it because I got the HBO Max through my mom's HBO subscription, but I would have paid it gladly because the simple fact is you're giving me Wonder Woman Christmas Day.
Mm-hmm.
I can sit back on my 55-inch Samsung Curve TV, turn on my sound bar, and enjoy Wonder Woman. After maybe if I watch Soul, because Disney's giving us Soul the same day.
Everybody's gonna watch Wonder Woman first.
So, well, depending on the families.
No, Wonder Woman, because it's still gonna be one of those where you can watch with the kids, then you put Soul, you're like, yo, I can watch that later. But no, I do hear your point, and I think like I was looking at because
Because
I'm
think
gonna
about
spend holiday with family, and but here's the other thing, right? So I looked, and I could rent out a theater for Wonder Woman for 10 to 20 people for $300.
which is not a bad deal.
It's not a bad deal. But the thing is that doesn't cover up with, like, 20 people in the theater does not cover up the amount of money the theaters make,
No, it's not.
because it's more than 20 people. It's about 150 to 200.
Like the last comment here saying they're going to fold. No, they're not going to fold. The Legendary could whine and bitch all they want to, but I'm pretty sure it's in the contracts that Warner Brothers has the final say of what they do with these movies.
Yeah, so no, that's not going to happen. It's one of this Jonathan, it's not going to happen because the backlash, that was all noise. So that was a lot of noise from people like Christopher Nolan, the people who were unhappy. But here, just listen to the announcement. Christopher Nolan was really pissed about it.
He
We
has
also
no right to be pissed because he forced his movie out, didn't make no money, but now he wants to come out and bitch that Warner Brothers does this. See,
exactly.
you put Warner Brothers in this position when you forced them to release a movie that needed to make a minimum of $800 million to be even.
Hmm. So here's the thing that he caused them to do, and that's why if you look at it from the other side from Warner Brothers, it made, like, we were in such, I mean, theaters closed worldwide, like even in China where theaters are open, movies are not doing well. They're just
No
not
one's
doing
going out.
doing as well. But now imagine when Tenet came out, nobody went to see it, nobody, and then it just died out. Nobody even talked about Tenet, right? Imagine if they had just they just said we're postponing Tenet till next year, and then Thanksgiving we get Tenet on HBO
One.
Max, right? And then Christmas is Wonder Woman. Like, at that point, your mind starts going like, "Yo, okay, HBO Max, I'm liking this." And then they tell us, we're now seeing a movie. Like, heck yeah! I mean, like, as the consumer on our end, we want to, but also from at least my friends, internationally, my family in Nigeria, they're all like, "Yo, I mean, I wish I had HBO Max here because, like, I straight up just I watch Wonder Woman immediately." Like, the thing is, you also stop a lot of piracy. Like, you stop people from going like, let me download it illegally, because you're like, okay, fine. If I'm paying for it and I'm guaranteed that I'm gonna get Suicide Squad, Matrix 4, um, all the Warner Bros. Lineup, Godzilla in there.
Dude, here's the thing that kind of forced their hands. They pushed Godzilla from it was supposed to come out, what, 2019, I think?
Hmm.
They moved it. The same thing with Wonder Woman. You can't keep pushing these movies. And let's be real, when theaters do open back up, are people really going to go?
Hmm.
You might get some money, but you're not going to get that $1 billion money.
Exactly. So people will go, but the problem is that you're not going to get the again, you're not going to get $1 billion movies anytime soon till maybe 2022. You
I say
know,
23.
maybe even that too. But I would say late 2022, probably late 2022, where it's like, okay, but even still, at that point, it becomes, do I want to? And then you heard the rumors of Legendary trying to sell Godzilla to Netflix, and you think HBO Max is like, wait, are you serious?
That's what
We're
I'm saying.
doing it.
Warner
We need you
Brothers
to.
wasn't going to. They have the control.
Yeah,
When
they
you're the
have.
distributor, you're the control,
Hmm.
and it's written in contracts. Now, is it true that maybe they didn't talk to people?
No, they didn't talk
Who
to
really
anybody.
knows?
No, no, they didn't talk to anyone. You can tell the only person who. That's why
They
you heard.
talked to Patty.
Yeah, but Patty's Zone was different because they were like, "Look, Patty, we got to do this now. Like, we need something." And Patty's like, "Okay, it's all
She
about
got
the."
broke off.
Mhm.
She got broke off, and so did Gal. They each got $10 million because they had points on the back end of this movie.
Exactly. So they had to negotiate that, and that's what's going to happen is everybody is going to have to renegotiate all those different contracts down the line. But they also know that look, Pat Wonder Woman is going to bring them X amount of people in, most likely. Like when Wonder Woman comes in, going to get X. When Snyder Cut hits, so what's going to happen is, if I'm them,
That's the key.
Snyder Cut is not going to be March. Snyder Cut to me has to be maybe late Feb, like right after
See, the Snyder
Valentine's Day.
Cut is going to be a weekly show.
Hmm. So here's the part that Warner Brothers needs to do is that they need to look at it and go like they need this slew of shows, right? So th- we know they've got the Squad show. You know they've got the Batman PD show. But what they really need to do is jump into just the Snyder universe and just make it its own thing. You know
I think that's coming.
the ongoing rumors of Ben Affleck doing his own Batman show is he's been going on for so long, and we know these things when they go on like this with Snyder stuff, it's usually real, or at least to an extent. So I think once the Snyder Cut starts rolling and they see those numbers come through, I think having a Ben Affleck show would be great. Then start looking at certain characters. You do the same thing with Disney where you go, look, okay, if you got a Batman show, not the rumor, it's official now. The Robin that died is not Jason Todd. It is Nightwing.
Dick Grayson?
Yeah. He never, that was it. He never made another Robin after that, which makes sense for this type of Batman.
Because it's dark and gritty.
Because he's like, I'm not going to do that shit again. Like, because this Batman is all about I made mistakes. I'm canceling that mistake out completely in there. And you could see Dick Grayson was not a boy. He was like a young man. I mean, just from the frame of the suit, that ain't no child. you know? So I think what they should do is have shows like that are connected around. And then,
See, here's what they said earlier this week, too, that they're thinking about making it a comic to continue the story. I don't want that. I don't want to read it. I want to see it.
I think there's some of I think maybe on the Justice League side of things they will do the comics, and I think that's fine. But even those comics doesn't mean is the you remember you can make the comics all you want. People can still make the films. I think they're just looking at it in that way. If I'm them, I will continue the Snyderverse. I will continue with Batman. I will continue with Cyborg, but I would get some other popular smaller character to join in with Cyborg. I would take Blue Beetle because that's a very popular character, especially the young Latino Blue Beetle. And they're talking about Black Lightning. They reached Michael B. Jordan's
The Static
um
Shock movie.
sorry, not Static Shock, sorry. Static Shock movie. I will make Static Shock into a show. I
But
actually make that
let
into
me
a
ask you
show.
this. Do you think they're going to make a Black Lightning something? Because they canceled it on the CW.
So the thing is that the control of their shows is weird. The structure that Grace pointed out, there's no set directive. There's set directive, but there's no central directive, if you want to put it that way. So I think I think what they need to do is they need to cancel all their CW shows out. The problem is like there's a new character called Naomi in the comics, and they're making Ava DuVernay is making a CW show, and I'm like, Naomi is a
That's the
cool
wrong
character.
place for
I
it.
was like, she is a really cool character. I watched one of her comics. I read one of her comics, and I just didn't get around to reading this, make into a show where
Oh,
she,
Max.
because in her world, all the superheroes exist. Like for her, it was like Superman exists, and Superman came to our town to fix something, save something, and then fixed it up, and was talking to the firemen, right? That's the kind of thing where it's like, like how they had this stupid thing where you saw Superman with the kids in Justice League, but this is one where it's this girl, and
And
then
Shazam.
yeah, no, in Justice League,
Oh,
yeah, mustache,
oh
yeah,
yeah, mustache
but
gate.
this one it's a really cool setup at the beginning that you can actually use that to move her character forward, and then do a show on HBO Max where it's serious, and then you have Superman and Batman coming in. That's where you take that extended world where Affleck and this guys can come in, and it makes so much more sense.
See, CW just they need to just take the shows off of the CW because I'm not going back to watch anything on the CW. The
Oh, I get it.
CW, I'm sorry. After I watched Doom Patrol and Titans, the CW kind of lost me because real world curse words is what hooks me because it feels more grounded. It's like everyday people talking out in the street, how you talk with your friends, and then the fact that it had good action. I
And
just
just
couldn't
better
go back
better
to the
better
CW.
better writing, just better everything. So look, when you have HBO, which HBO has a stand. HBO set the standards for every streaming service there is. HBO was not a streaming service, but HBO was a paid. It's been the premium network before any other network came. Netflix has tried to be look. HBO's best content, Netflix best content still does not compare. Netflix best content show wise was either House of Cards, which was the closest acting wise. I mean, like acting production,
Oh, that was
and that was the
stellar.
that was the only show to me that came really close to HBO. HBO has had so many shows that you go back. Like the thing about HBO is you go back and watch any of those old shows. Doesn't matter whether you're watching Sopranos, whether you're watching The Wire, whether you're watching Game of Thrones. Yes, Game of Thrones. Whether you're watching um, Rome, which is one of the very first big budget shows they had, all of them had a certain standard of quality that when you watch it, you go like, oh, okay, this is still good. Like nothing stops me from watching this now. So I think for them though, they need to I think after this announcement, hopefully they look at it and they go, okay, all right, they've made this. We need to sit down and look at what we've got. We own Star Wars. I'm sorry, we own DC. Where's our DC shows? Like, where's just our shows? Like, we don't have to do. Who are the fan? Like, it's very simple. Who are the fan favorites? Right? To me, you do a young Beetle show, but you do Beetle kind of with what's his name again, Cyborg, because those two
But
work
see,
well together.
Beetle could be introduced in Titans.
No, you could do that in Titans, and then you also do other set of shows. To me, if you want something fun and comic relief, honestly, do a Booster Gold and a Blue Beetle, because those are the two people who literally will make the fun excitement for you, because they interact with everyone. Because Booster Gold is just a superhero who wants to make money. Like he literally has endorsements on his gear, man. So that's the kind of thing that you can mix around. That you can do your Batman. You can do all the, because now that Batman's everywhere. Now we now know it's a multiverse, right? If you're gonna make a multiverse, right, then just go, okay, look, how about we make how about we do Green Arrow right? You
Yeah,
know, how about we get Charlie
nothing
Hum?
wrong. I enjoyed Oliver. I mean Stephen Amell, but mm, give me that movie style Arrow. I'm
Yeah,
down.
give me get Charlie Hum. He's not doing anything right now. Do a show. How about we do something? Okay, fine. You want more sh- powerful female characters? Cheetah in the cartoons. You remember she was dating? Oh God,
Oh,
in the
that's one
Justice.
I need to watch too. Is that Harley Quinn animated show?
Yeah, so Hadley Coordination is great. Cheetah in the Justice League cartoons was dating Green Lantern, John Stewart Green Lantern, but that was after Hawkgirl was. And there was one episode where they were both having lunch together, and he was like, and Flash is like, "Oh, your two girlfriends are talking. Your ex talking to your girlfriend. You need to back away." Like those are the kind of things you can do. Like there are so many characters you can play with. So to me, I think they're not looking at it from that top down perspective. And I get it. They're looking at it as like, okay, this creator can do this. To me, that's fine. You can literally just go, we are going to do these sets of shows, but we want you, James Gunn, pick one, right? You pick one, right? They don't even
Well,
have to
he
interconnect.
does. He's doing
Suicide Squad,
the John Cena one.
I've seen one, but I'm saying that you don't have to just let them make it for you. You can have an overarching umbrella and just say, look, we want a show kind of based on it. We just want loose connection. We don't want it to really connect, just loose, you know?
Dude, they between Marvel and DC, like DC can literally just take D and C level characters and flesh them out in TV shows on HBO Max,
Oh yeah, absolutely.
and
Absolutely.
it would, and people will watch because it's new content that's going to bring them in. Like Swamp Thing, I was intrigued with Swamp Thing, but once it got canceled, I never went back.
I mean, there's so many things they can bring back. But anyway, we've been running long, and I think it's time for us to wrap it up. But exciting news, though. Exciting news. Hopefully, we will do more shows. I will try and promise one show a week
Next
to you
week, bro,
guys.
we got The Expanse.
Oh man, what day is Expanse again?
I believe it's next Friday.
Oof, it's Friday night. Is it Friday during the day? Well, I'll try.
Well, remember, it's I believe they're dropping all the episodes. I don't think they're going to pull what they did with The Boys.
No,
People,
they're gonna drop. No, they're dropping three and then one.
oh, they're doing that shit too.
They have to. There's nothing else.
Oh God, I don't want that. These are shows I like to binge. You
No, no.
got me.
You
I
know,
only put up with it with Mando because that's how Disney started it. The Boys started with it all out. Expanse on last season was all out. Give it to me at all.
Expanse is one of their Expanse is one of their biggest shows too now, so they gotta space it out.
See, you could do that with Lord of the Rings when that finally drops next
No,
year.
Roller Beans, you gotta do one episode. You can't even do three, just one,
No,
one,
no,
one.
just do the one a week because you got me because
Yeah.
that world.
No,
That
Expanse is
so
gonna be
big.
once a week because think about it. Amazon has not had anything since The Boys. That's a long gap away. And in terms of shows, they don't have too many shows. They don't
Well,
have
no,
like
that's well, show wise, yes, but they recently just dropped. I don't know who the director is, but he dropped like three movies, and one of them was with John Boyega, and I'm hearing it's really good.
oh yeah, I saw the trailer for that. I have to check it out. Definitely have to check it out. But anyway, guys, all right, we'll be back for The Expanse, at least for the first three episodes. We'll chat about that and talk. But thanks everyone for jumping in. Jonathan Jones, Tech Guy, Smart Buy, thank you very much for your comments, guys. Appreciate it. Lou, it's always fun as always. And you know, guys, don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and always enjoy your entertainment.